Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to put up my November TBR, which is actually, I'm participating in Nonfiction November, which is hosted by a book Olive and Non Fic Books. I will list them down below, but you should check out their announcement videos and their recommendations. They had a lot of good ones, and then there's been a lot of videos going up all across BookTube about doing Nonfiction November. So I don't read as much nonfiction as I like. I do pick one up every once in a while, and really I haven't in the last few months. So this is going to be kind of fun, and I think I'm going to get several of these done because I'll be participating in NaNoWriMo. So I don't want to be reading a whole lot of fiction. So normally during NaNoWriMo, I either have an audiobook going in my car, because I'm in my car more often going to write-ins or going to the coffee shop to write or the library or something. So I'm already usually doing that. So I'm just going to make sure most of them are nonfiction, and we'll see how much I can get through. I figure if I read one or two, that's more than I normally do. So, because again, one is once in a while I'll do one, but I haven't, as I said, I haven't done one in a couple of months. So this will be kind of good for me. And I had quite a few that I had on my shelf that were borrowed from my dad that I want to get through. And then there's a couple from the library that I got. And then I have a couple on Audible that I recently bought in the last couple months that were when they were on deals for something. So I thought, hey, I'll listen to those too. So this is kind of an ambitious TBR, but I do those every month, so I always want to read more than I think I'm going to read. I have 8 choices of things to do. Now there are challenges of, which I'll list below, which I believe are home, substance, love, and scholarship. So several of these do classify in them. I think love is pretty much the only one I don't know which of these would even go for, but all the other ones match up to either scholarship or home. Or, and then, one of them, I don't know, substance is kind of a iffy. So, I don't know. I know that they're just kind of guidelines and to help people, do that. I mostly just want to read the science, I want to read science fiction, no. The nonfiction that I've accumulated as well as stuff that I borrowed, between my dad and the library. There are quite a few things here. So, okay, so I'm just going to get into it. So again, I said, check out their videos, on all the challenges if you want to do that. I just don't think, I was more attracted to these things, and I'm not really looking at where they lie on that those challenges, although some of them do fit. It's just that's the way it's going to go this time. So the first one I'm going to pick up, because it's the one I have to turn in first back to the library. I got it just a couple days ago, so I will start it first, and that is Hunger by Roxane Gay. I've heard a lot of really good things about this memoir, about, I believe, about her body image and stuff. So I'm interested to see. This is my first one by her, but I heard that the audiobook is supposed to be pretty good. So I'm going to do that one first. Again, that's a library book. So the next 2 audiobooks, CDs that I got from the library, but there's a reason for that. So I got The Last Stand by Nathaniel Philbrick, which is Custard, Sitting Bull, and the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Now, I've read several books on this over the years, and I always find it very fascinating how different they all are and what they focus on. So I'm kind of wanting to see this one. This is a pretty big book, because my dad let me borrow it. So this is a book that's been on my shelf, that on my borrowed shelf, for a couple of months. I probably borrowed this back in like February or March. I can't remember, because I saw he had it and I go, oh, I want to read that. And he said it was really good. So typically most of my nonfiction picks come from my dad, or they come from the library. I don't own much nonfiction myself, except for writing books. So, but I read a lot of history, American history and stuff. So this is one of the ones that, as I said, I've read a couple books on, so I always like to see how different it is and stuff. So anyway, I got the audiobook just in case I want to do the audiobook instead of reading this big tome during NaNoWriMo. So I have options there. So then I figured I would also do the same thing for the other book I have borrowed from my dad, and that is Unbroken by Laura Hildenbrand, a World War II story of survival, resilience, and redemption. I know there was a movie based off of it, and the book was pretty popular. Again, I actually didn't ask to borrow this one. When my dad brought me The Last Stand, he said he'd just finished reading this, and he said, I have to read this. Of course, it's been months. So I want to kind of read this because he said it was good. So anyway, so again, I got the audiobook for my car, just in case I find it easier to read it get it through that way. I'm not sure. It's an options. I figure I got options. So then I have my audiobook Audible account, and a couple of audiobooks I picked up in the last few months. And the first one is The Professor and the Madman, A Tale of Murder, Insanity, and the Making of the Oxford English Dictionary by Simon Winchester. Now, I actually bought this before Olive talked about it last month, or, you know, in her wrap up and stuff. So I think that's really funny, because I had already bought this thinking I wanted to read this because it was talking about the dictionary. And so she had already, she mentioned it. And I went, oh, hey, that's cool. It's about, you know, as I said, has to do with, it's history about the Oxford English Dictionary. I don't know. Anyway, so I picked that up pretty cheap. Another one I got was Smoke in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doherty. Sorry. Doherty. I don't know. Sorry, my brain just stopped. I've heard her name a lot, but I can't think of how to say it. Sorry. Anyway, so this is about her memoirs and lessons of the crematorium. And so she's let's see here, my brain just, you know, she's worked in a crematorium. And anyway, so it sounded very interesting. I've read Mary Roach's Stiff and a couple other her books, but I thought this one sounded kind of different. So I had gotten that one. So, and then the last one that I have bought on Audible is, oh, and of course it's not, there you go. Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann. Now, this book, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Again, it's the Osage murders and the birth of the FBI. I wanted to get this as soon as I heard about it. It just sounded, I like those kind of old crime stories and stuff. Something that I've never heard about, and I want to know what happened here and what's going on. So this is very interesting. I hear that they are making a movie on this, as well as The Professor and the Madman, but that's not why I want to read it. It really was. I came out, and I knew that was a nonfiction book I had on my list that I wanted to read this year. So I'm hoping to listen to it sometime this month. And then, as I was watching everybody's videos before I went to the library to pick up the audiobooks that I had on hold, I picked up 2 more books in the nonfiction section. So I have backups. So I also have some physical books to read. So all those are either Audible or, you know, audiobooks, either CDs for my car or something I can listen on my phone at work. And then I got 2 books that if I don't read my dad's borrowed books that I can, you know, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I have 2 other books I can look at. And I got The Year of Living Danishly. Now, Uncovering the Secrets of the World's Happiest Country by Helen Russell. I picked this up because I'm Norwegian, and I know that's not the same country and not like that, but it made me think of the stuff when we visited there. Oh, I think it's been 10 years now, or almost. And I really enjoyed visiting there. And so it kind of made me think about how the people there were, and it was just relatives and how their lives were different from ours and everything. It was just really cool. So I kind of thought it'd be kind of interesting to see how this one is. And somebody said it was a really good read. I don't know. I'm gonna check that out. I don't know. It just sounded interesting. And then I picked up one that I've been seeing on a couple people's channels from earlier this like September and October due to Victober, and that is Unmentionable. The Victorian Lady's Guide to Sex, Marriage, and Manners by Therese O'Neill. And I kind of been holding myself back from getting this. I was just like, oh, I don't need that right now. But I saw it again on somebody's video just the other day, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go see it at the library and pick it up. Well, I picked it up at the library, and then I was in line for some fast food, batting me. But I started reading this in line. I read like 12 pages because it was a really long line, and I'm always like hooked on this. So I had to put it down because it's not November yet. But I think this will be a fun read at night when I'm done writing and my brain is kind of fried, and it's just kind of fun. And I want to know more about all that stuff all that Victorian literature I just read about did not mention. So this will be kind of cool. So those are my picks for November, nonfiction November. I'm not sure again how much I'll get through. I mean, there's a few audiobooks I definitely for sure want to hit. Hunger For sure, I'm starting that on the 1st, and because I have to get it done and turn it back in. But the rest of them, I'm like, I have choices, so I don't know what I'm gonna like draw to. A lot of mine are, as I said, I like a lot of history, but I also, I guess most of the stuff is history and or dealing with a certain subject. So I think they'll be kind of fun. So anyway, so are you doing nonfiction November? What are you reading? Are you reading any of these, or have you read any of these? I mean, am I looking forward to something, or am I going to be, you know, bored out of my mind? I don't know. Sometimes nonfiction can be hit or miss, although I do really like listening to nonfiction verbally. For some reason, it's easier for me to handle when it's being read to me, I guess. I don't know, or I listen to it for some reason. I'm not sure, but I do read a lot. I don't know. I don't know. Do you feel that way? I don't know. For some reason, it's easier to intake sometimes because you don't get tired of the page. Maybe that's a study thing. I don't know. Anyway, so anyway, hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.